Hello, welcome back to my channel. If we haven't met yet, I'm Jaclyn Gallo, and this is my 10-part women's empowerment series. And today's video number 6, is about what to do when you fail. If you are chasing those big dreams on your vision board, it is inevitable that you're going to fail, and it's actually not a bad thing. It's a good thing. Our failures teach us the lessons we need to achieve our big dreams and goals. Our failures often serve as redirections. But despite all of the good that comes out of a failure, when you're in the middle of it, let's just be honest, it's rough. I have failed many times in my journey of pursuing my dreams, and I have learned some things along the way that I'm going to share with you today about how to actually handle the failure when you're in it. So the first thing that's really important is to understand the emotional guidance scale. So Abraham Hicks' emotional guidance scale is a scale of emotions from very low vibrational emotions to very high vibrational emotions. And then in the middle, there are more neutral feelings. What's really interesting and helpful about this scale is that it's very difficult to skip levels. So it's very difficult to go from a really low emotion like desperation to a very high emotion like joy. We can't just snap our fingers and go from feeling like a complete victim to feeling like everything is wonderful. But often that's the expectation we set for ourselves. So understanding this emotional guidance scale can be really helpful, because when you look at the emotions, you can realize that you can still feel negative feelings when you are processing your failure, but you can start to climb so the negative feelings aren't as heavy and feel a little bit lighter. So disappointment feels a lot lighter than desperation. For example, your goal in climbing the emotional guidance scale is to move closer to neutrality. So allow your failure, feel your failure, process your failure, and start to reach for better feeling thoughts that are going to move you up closer and closer to a neutral place, to a place where you can accept the failure. Once you're at a neutral place, it's going to be a lot easier to shift into those higher level emotions. So that's what to focus on emotionally. Now, what about physically? What to do when you're feeling that failure? The number one thing that I recommend whenever you fail is to ask yourself, what is the next step? Oftentimes we get caught up in 10 steps down the line. How am I going to solve this problem? And that's going to create this problem. But then we still have this thing over here to figure out. Just start with the first thing. What is the next step? Now, sometimes the next step is simply self-care. Maybe you need to get a good night's sleep, eat a yummy meal, or take a bath. Maybe you need to just take some time away from your work, from your dreams, from your goals, and just be, live, do. Don't focus on it so much. Maybe the next step is something that's really strategic. Maybe you want to map out some possible action steps to recover from this failure. Let's say your business took a financial hit. Okay, how are you going to be able to pay the bills? Do you need to let anyone go? What is going to be the actual next step? Maybe that's going to be really helpful for you. Regardless of what you do, the only thing that you could do wrong is focus on 10 steps in front of you and drown in overwhelm. As long as you're focusing on one step at a time and just the next step and then the next step after that, you can't take the wrong next step. It's always going to lead you closer and closer and closer to where you want to go. Finally, the last thing I'll leave you with today that has been so helpful for me in my times of failure, and I actually attribute so much of my success to this question: journal on this. What is working? Now, I left this for the end because it's going to be really difficult to journal on this question when you're in that initial state of failure. But once you've climbed the emotional guidance scale a little bit and you're more neutral, you're going to be able to look at this question honestly. I asked myself this question back at the end of 2018 when my product business had failed. I tried to make these plates. It was an epic failure. My app that I tried to build failed, and I felt like nothing was working. I had been pursuing my dreams for 2.5 years, and I thought maybe I should give up. And I asked myself this question. And at first, my brain is like, nothing. That's why I'm reading these books, listening to these podcasts, doing this journaling. You're probably like, Jaclyn, I'm watching this video because nothing is working. I get it. That's exactly how I felt when I was in your shoes. But I forced myself to stay there a little bit longer. It was uncomfortable because for a while, nothing came to me. But I thought about it more and more, and I asked myself, okay, Jaclyn, if you couldn't get up from the seat, if you were glued to the seat and you had to answer, what would be just one thing that's working right now? And I thought, well, whenever I go out to colleges, to sororities, and I share my story of struggling with an eating disorder in college, and that's why I built this app, which when I was going out and speaking, the app hadn't failed yet. I thought to myself, whenever I go do that, I get tons of messages afterwards saying how my story really inspired them. Maybe there was a student listening who didn't realize that she had an eating disorder and she's going to go get professional help. Or maybe there was someone listening who saw me pursuing my dreams of entrepreneurship and felt really inspired to change their major and pursue their dreams, whatever they may be. And in writing that down, I realized that I was really good at speaking. But I didn't call it speaking at the time. I called it marketing, because I was just sharing my story to tell more people what I was doing and to spread the word for this app I was building. But when I realized that I was really good at speaking, I realized that I had a skill set that I could now lead with for the next step. So this question actually helped me answer what is the next step. After my 2 failures, I decided that I was going to pursue speaking. And today I have given a TEDx talk, spoken on over 125 stages in 7 countries, all as a result of that one journal prompt. So I highly, highly, highly recommend you do that journal prompt. Now, if you're listening and you're like, okay, I love all of this, I'm ready. I just want to know though, Jaclyn, are there any ways to get there faster? I feel like I'm doing all the things and it's really slow and it's taking forever. Yes and no. Yes, because there are things you can do to tap into your intuition, and your intuition is going to lead you to the fastest path to success, and that's exactly what the next video is about in this series. No, because you're on your divine journey. It's going to take as long as it's meant to. You're going to go the ups and downs and learn your lessons, and it can happen so quick. You're so worthy, you're so capable, and in this moment there's infinite potential, and it also may be a journey and take some time, and that's okay too. If you're like, okay, I get it, I'm ready, I want to tap into the intuition, I want to find out what's my divine path, how do I listen to my inner guidance system so that I can create the success in the way I'm meant to and not go on these detours that really are just distractions and are distracting me from my true calling. I don't like to use the word purpose. That's a conversation for another video. And if you are interested in why I don't use the word purpose and my thoughts on purpose, leave a comment so that I know that that's a future video I'll record for you guys, because that's not currently a part of this series. But if you're ready for the intuition stuff, tune into the next video. If you love this channel, hit the subscribe button. I would love to see you more often. Thanks so much for tuning in, and I will catch you in the next video. Bye.